welcome to Knit Cheek, a silly little podcast where I come on and talk about everything that I'm knitting and crocheting and spinning and maybe quilting, even if I ever quilt again. It's been a while. My name is Natalie, and I am the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and I am coming to you from California, Southern California specifically, where I live and work. I live at the base of the San Bernardino Mountains. If you're unfamiliar with the area, the name is Big Bear, but I work in a couple other smaller mountain towns, and I spend a lot of time out up in the mountains. So yeah, if you're new, thank you for tuning in. If you're returning, thank you for returning. We're going to talk about all the things that I'm knitting and crocheting, which, spoiler alert, is the same because it's not a lot, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the crochet cardigan that I'm working on, the crochet granny square cardigan. I always really struggle with getting the video started and like just saying hello. I don't have a lot to share today, but I did want to kind of do a deep dive into the Ariana cardigan that I'm working on. I hope I'm saying that right. I always say Ariana, A-R-I-A-N-A. I don't know. Ariana, like Ariana Grande. We're gonna call it Ariana. Sorry. So that's what we're gonna talk about mostly today. I have been super busy in my work life, so I haven't really had a chance to sit down and film, and today I have about an hour, so I'm going to sit down, talk a little bit about my current projects, and then maybe film a little bit of me working on the cardigan because I'm at a pivotal next step, so we'll get into that. We will. Anyways, thank you everyone who's subscribed and who is a returning viewer. I am trying something different today. So usually I film with the front of my camera, and then I don't know where to look though, because you can't really see that camera on the front side of your phone. I said camera, I'm filming with the phone. So I tried flipping the phone, and now I have my computer behind the phone. So I'm looking at my computer right now. So if you see me looking down there, that's because I'm checking to make sure that I'm still here. I don't know why I feel like the need to check, but so I have a computer here with me, and I can see that I'm in focus, but it's weird. It's strange because now I feel like I'm just talking to the back of my phone, whereas before I was like, okay, at least I'm just talking to my mirror self. Also, I cracked the back of my phone a couple of days ago, so little tears every time I look at it. I don't know if that's bad. Like, I'm so glad it wasn't the front of my phone, but I'm pretty sure my phone is like not as waterproof as it was. So okay, so I said so like 7 times just now. Let's do this. Finished objects this week. I don't have any finished objects, which is unsurprising because I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and knit and crochet. I don't have a lot going on actually, but I really need to cast some stuff on so that I have more projects on the go, because my first work in progress, which I'm holding in my, I always forget the name of this bag, Tannei Casey bag. She's on Instagram, and yeah, I bought this recently. But my first project is the scarf number 4, and I started this on February 11th. And making some progress. Making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm hoping that the crinkliness of this is going to block out. It's really important with this one when you're doing the edging to like not make it so tight. So I've been purposely trying to make it looser, but I hope I'm not overcompensating. But so this is going to be a bandana. It's going to wrap around like this. My idea was that I was just going to knit this until I run, or I'm about halfway, and then I would start decreasing, because that's how the pattern is written. You're knitting, you start from the tortilla chip end, and then you end up in the middle. And then when I weighed this, I think it was 109 grams, and I still have 74 grams. So I'm not sure if, I mean, I think you're going to be able to probably wrap this thing twice. I don't know though, because it's each row I do grows, so we'll see. But my goal is to, just making sure I didn't drop a stitch, use up all of this yarn, or at least most of it. Reasons why I need to cast other things on is the other, so March 2nd, Saturday, we went and saw Dune 2. Really good, but super long. I only peed twice during the movie, which was very impressive. But this, I brought this, I knit it through the previews, and then after the previews, the movie started, and I was like, I cannot knit this during this movie because it's black, and it's not just stockinette. You increase, you rib at certain points for the texture, and it wasn't working. So I put it away, fully immersed myself in the movie of Dune, which is fine, you know, it's okay. But I do need to cast on some stockinette projects or like TV knitting. Not that I watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of TV because it's addicting, and I don't like to feel that need to keep watching. I watched a few episodes of Love is Blind with a couple of friends. We were hanging out one day, and we were really tired after going to the mall because we're, you know, in our 30s. So we went home, and my friend and I do not agree on, or not agree, but we just don't have the same TV likes. We don't like the same type of things when you're watching TV. I don't know how to say this. I only watch cartoons, adult cartoons, or period pieces. That's it. Those are my two genres that I can handle. And she doesn't like either of those. But we settled on Love is Blind. I was like, as long as it's not, I don't know, some of the other stuff that she likes to watch. So I don't want to talk poorly about any TV shows. But so we watched a couple episodes of Love is Blind, and it was super addicting. And I watched, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 episodes of it. And then I left, and I like felt the urge to keep watching that show. And then I realized that there was so much more of that show left. And I was like, oh, never mind. I don't need to watch that show. So I haven't watched it. But I feel like every time I see like updates on Instagram, I want to know what happened, which is why I don't like watching TV. I also listen to like a lot of audiobooks. And that is my primary source of entertainment, because I can knit at the same time. But I do like to read physical books too, and watch knitting podcasts. I watch a lot of knitting podcasts. If you have a knitting podcast, I will watch it. I will watch it at least once, and then, you know, how you find some that you love, and then you can't stop watching them, and you subscribe, and yeah. So that is the scarf number 4. I have my show notes down here. And that was I'm knitting that in Opus by Walcot Yarns. Sorry, that was a total fail. The computer behind me is also mirror image, so I should probably just not even look at it to try to, yeah, I keep all my yarn tags and a little tail on them, so I'm just extra like that. But yeah, so that's what I'm knitting that out of. So my next whip, which is my only other whip, but that's what I'm here to talk about today, is the Ariana Cardigan. And I kind of wanted to go in a little bit more detail about it today. I did talk about it in my last 2 videos about how I kind of started this in 2023 and completely failed because I misread the way that you're supposed to read the gauge for a granny square, which is diagonal, not across. So these are the 2 granny squares. This is the one that I crocheted before, thinking that I was supposed to get 5.5 inches across, or no, across, and when you're actually supposed to get 5.5 inches diagonally. So yeah, this is a huge difference. Like, how did I not, I don't know. I only crocheted about 12 of these. I did have to rip a couple of them out for the yellow for my granny squares that I'm currently working on. So I crocheted, let me double check, 42 granny squares, 14 half granny squares, and 2 quarter granny squares. So let me show you my impressive stacks of granny squares. These are 42 granny squares. And I crocheted these with the technique of weaving your ends in as you go. So if you see the back, you can kind of see where I picked up the ends and like weaved them in. And you really can't tell at all. It looks great. So, however, with my 14 half granny squares, these, you can't do that because you're going in one direction. So I had to weave these in, and that for 14 of these took forever. I can't even imagine ever doing a granny square project not weaving in ends of the granny squares because it took so long. So long. And then I have a couple of these quarter granny squares babies. So yeah, I started crocheting these on like the last day of January, and I was able to do all 42 plus 14 plus 2 in 1 month. So I finished right before March, and then I kind of took a break because the next step is a little bit more not labor intensive, but not as portable. These were really great portable actually because of what I was holding them in, which is my Della train case. I've showed this before, and I've mentioned before, I don't think they make this color anymore, but I really like the color. And it has like a shelf. So I kept all my granny squares that I was working on in progress here, and then I kept all my yarn down here, which I still have some in there. And that worked so good for this project. I honestly don't know if this train case will come in handy for like any other types of projects, but for this project it was perfect. I did the granny squares in like a factory line type of technique where you do one color at a time, and then like, so I would do 10 at a time. I would start with the middle, and then I would do all 10 of them in the next color, the pink color, all 10 of them in the nougat color, all 10 of them in the white color, and then finish all 10 of them in the yellow color. And my goal was to do 10 a week, which I think I did a pretty good job. And then the half granny squares were like, I think I did those, the 14 of those in like a day, and maybe 2 days, but weaving them in took me another 3 or 4 days. So yeah, this has been my emotional support project through my really busy life recently. I was really heavily inspired by It's a Sarah's podcast. She does a podcast in English and in Danish and Dutch. And so she talked about this cardigan. She crocheted this cardigan, and I loved the colors that she picked. So I basically just copied her colors, but with knitting for Olive. So the colors, it goes yellow, pink, brownie, white, yellow. So the yellow color is Camel by Knitting for Olive in that heavy merino color. This one is Terracotta Rose. Then the brown nougat color, and then the powder color. And so the next step is to actually crochet these together as you go with this brown color, which is called bark. So that's a method that I've never done before, which is you crochet together your granny squares. And it's not like just a square, so I'm a little nervous about it, but It's a Sarah's podcast. Sarah from It's a Sarah's podcast she just seamed them together, which I'm tempted to do, but I kind of want to try this and then see how it goes. So the sweater has extra armpits, instead of coming a 90-degree angle, it goes diagonally, and she omitted that part, and I plan on doing the same, which is why I crocheted 42 granny squares instead of 46, because I'm hoping that I did the calculations in my head right, that I wouldn't need those 4 extra granny squares for the armpit area. So we'll see, we'll try, and if I can figure out how to do it. She definitely has more experience than I do crocheting. This is only my 3rd crochet project. I picked up crocheting last year from Tony L. Yarn Crafts Crochet Academy, where you can like subscribe and they'll send you an email a day teaching you how to crochet. And that was great. I learned a lot, and I'm now crocheting a whole cardigan. So obviously it worked. I think that I may have crocheted sometime in the past, because when I was learning it, I was like, I feel like I've done this before. So that's all I have for yarn and my finished projects. No finished projects, but you know, my work in projects and my upcoming projects. And thank you for tuning in. If you want to see more videos, I have a couple more that you can watch, or you can subscribe and check out my next one. So thank you. Bye. Did I say my name? Oh my God. I'll just refilm that intro. Hi, I just got back from my dermatology appointment, and I'm gonna attempt to start this. I think right now I'm just gonna watch this YouTube video about how to connect my granny squares and try to read the pattern and see if I can figure out how to do it. Okay, so I think I kind of know how I'm going to tackle this after reading the pattern and watching that video, so good luck to me. Okay, so it's a really weird angle, but this is what's going to work for me to, sorry, film me crocheting this granny square cardigan. I am working on assembling my first row of granny squares, which happens to all be half granny squares. So this, can I figure out how to do this? Is the diagram. This is a free pattern, so I am going to be crocheting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So essentially, if you have a cardigan, I'm going around that first, you know what I'm saying? Like from here to here, row 1. Let's do it. So I'm gonna lay these babies out. Okay, so I just set up for my second tier for the Ariana Cardigan, and it looks like I am going to crochet 6 full granny squares, and the way that I'm going to connect them is into the V shapes of the half triangles all the way across. And I didn't even have to break my yarn from the first because it looks like I'm just gonna go back to back, which is really cool. Because that means less yarn ends to weave in.
Making a knitting video while watching other knitting videos.
Yeah. Well, this is as far as I got today. It's nighttime, Natalie. We got back pretty late from working today, and I did crochet a couple more squares onto my cardigan. So I'm gonna finish that up and then show you guys and then go to bed. Year I did. Okay, well, I'm done for tonight. I'm tired, but this is my cardigan so far. Yeah, say bye. This is my more talkative cat. Peaches are done. Peaches. And yeah, my dog does sleep in the fireplace. She loves it. But this is the finished first part of the second tier. So on the next row, I need to come back on top of the granny squares. So my next step will be to crochet all the brown across the top of the second tier, and then add another row of granny squares for the third tier, and basically repeat the second tier over again. Well, that wraps up the Ariana cardigan for today. Sorry if I'm talking a little lower than usual. Joey is here, and I need to go to sleep. Everybody's sleeping. I've got baby kitty, Mikey. Well, Peaches is here with me. Want to say hi? Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Can you be good for that and say hi? Hi. Yeah. This is the girl. Say hi. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Well, welcome back. It is the end of the week. It is officially Sunday. I started filming these videos on Wednesday morning, so it's been going a little slow, but that's okay because life is crazy. I actually always intended for this video to be a crochet and chat, but a lot of the footage that I took of me crocheting, Joey was home, and I just couldn't do it. So I do want to come up with a video, a knit and chat, so that I can kind of go into, like, I don't know, my personal life a little bit, because I feel weird talking about that when people are here, probably for the knitting and the crocheting. This is P. So if you hear annoying meows, it's because she's always annoyed with me. She's like, you're not doing it right. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I want to post a knit and chat just so I can talk about why my life has been so crazy this week, why I've been so busy. I think things will slow down a little bit next week with work, and I'll have a little bit more time. This project is going by pretty fast, though, for the amount of time that I have. And I was really hesitant about doing the connect as you go with this project with the granny squares, but I think that it's very easy once you sit down and read the pattern and watch a video on how to crochet as you go connecting granny squares. It's totally doable. I never made any mistakes doing it. I was able to pick it up. Let me see if I can hold this up and kind of show it. You do a row at a time, just connecting them, and then connecting the next row, and then you get like kind of a relief row of just finishing the squares that you just connected. That's what I'm going to do next. So this right here, you can see I have granny squares that are still just the yellow. So my next row is just finishing the tops of those. So it's kind of like a relief row because you're not connecting that row, you're just finishing the top, and then I'll connect another row. So I'm winded. Why am I winded? Yeah, it's been a week. I am going to sit down and crochet this one last row and then get this video up. I didn't intend to let that much time in between videos. I kind of wanted to be more regular posting, but you know, life, and I probably should have done a smaller video for the week, but you know, this is what I've been wanting to work on, and I keep getting paranoid that I am crocheting the granny squares on wrong side. There's a wrong side because I wove in the ends of the granny squares as I was crocheting them. So I don't have a ton of ends to weave in. Still winded. I think I was excited and I had some coffee this morning. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I will still have to do the sleeves. I'll just have to catch you up on that in my next video. So yeah, it's been a while since my last one. My bad. But also at the same time, like I'm not somebody who's like, oh, I gotta post every week to get more followers, because that's not really what I'm like my goal or anything. I mean, I think it's really cool that there's 100 of you that subscribe and want to watch my next video, but I don't know. I'm not like trying to get to a number or anything. I'm just trying to well, I talk about this in my other video, just trying to make friends and become a bigger part of the knitting and crochet community. So what else was I gonna say? I kind of had a little bit of a panic moment when I was crocheting this, where I wish that, and I still do, I wish that the brown was darker. I feel like this is a pretty low contrast cardigan, and I went back onto the website of Knitting for Olive and I was looking at the colors and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely thought that brown was going to be darker. But it's not so much of a deal breaker that I'm going to buy new yarn because I already have this yarn and I don't hate it. I think if I could change one thing, I'd want there to be more contrast. But maybe when I add the ribbing, it won't be so bad. The really cool thing about this cardigan is that although it's crocheted, the ribbing is actually knit. So I really like that. I think that's all I have to say. If you haven't already and you want to subscribe, that would make me feel good, I guess. Give me some dopamine, serotonin. Which one is it? I don't remember. Chemistry degree over here. That's not a joke. I really do. I really do have a chemistry degree. But yeah, so, total brain annihilation. I was wrapping it up. I think I'm just excited. I'm going to a book club today, so I didn't get cute for this video. I mean, I've been crocheting like in my PJs all week, videotaping myself, so. And Joey comes in one night and he's like, are you filming a podcast while watching a podcast? And I was like, yeah, I am. Oh, podcast. So the podcast that I've been watching this week to get me through this project, I think actually when he asked me that, I was watching Handmade by Florence's video on her stash. I also have been watching Escarla's channel. Breathing Yarn is a newer channel that I've been watching. And then Allie Makes Everything. I've been watching her channel too. So just a couple of podcasts. If you want to check them out, I'll put them in my links and stuff along with everything else. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to comment and let me know if you're interested in making that Ariana cardigan, and if you're interested because I inspired you, or if you've just been wondering, or if you're interested because it's a crochet and knit cardigan, because that's kind of what drew me to it. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here. I'm slowly losing it this week. I need a vacation, which I actually was supposed to go camping tonight and tomorrow night, but it's been so crazy that we after work all week. I work with Joey all week that we needed a day today to clean my house, go grocery shopping for the love of God, and just take care of a couple things, water all of my plants. There's a lot of them. And so now we're finally back on track. I've been saying bye for so long. So, and then I'm just waving this around. I'm going to have another cup of coffee and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to finish this last row. And then I will see y'all's later. I don't know why I said y'all's. I really don't like when people say you guys. I just don't. It gives me the ick. So y'all is where it's at. Bye.